Hey guys, welcome to The Reality Pill, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of modern dating culture. We're pulling back the curtain on the entitlement, the delusions, and the flat-out insanity that men are expected to navigate in the 21st century. And of course, here's your meme of the day. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up, folks. It's the same old story told over and over again. You spend your prime years treating men like options, and then you're shocked when you become the option nobody wants to pick. It's a classic case of biological reality meeting feminist fantasy. And spoiler alert, reality wins every single time. So I gotta tell you guys, I'm struggling to wrap my head around this one. Not because the topic is complicated, it's actually pretty simple, but mostly because the audacity and the pure, unadulterated delusion is just off the charts. We are living in an era where women will look a man in the face, demand his resources, his loyalty, and his protection, while literally offering him fractions of a human being in return. It's absolutely mind-boggling. We've reached the point where modern standards are just a fancy way of saying, I want everything and I plan on giving nothing. The entitlement is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And today, we're going to look at the receipts. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we're starting off with a woman who has decided that one man isn't enough to meet her needs. But instead of looking inward to see why she's so unfulfilled, she has decided to treat men like a buffet line. We got a woman here who is explaining her current dating strategy. She claims that one person doesn't have to be everything, so she's outsourced the roles of provider, entertainer, and companion to 3 different guys. Let's see how she justifies this absolute clown show.
So currently at the moment, I am dating 3 different men. And when I say all of these men bring value into my life in different ways, I really urge other women to experiment and date different men at the same time. Now, they all have different purposes. One is an amazing provider. He literally provides everything that I need. If I call him up right now and say, hey, I need this, or my kids need this man is willing to jump to come help me. But the thing is, he kind of lacks my interest in adult time. So that's where my second one comes into play. When I say he is an amazing friend, he is the most amazing friend in this world. But the thing is, he's kind of lacking in the providing area, but he provides in ways that are very satisfying to me. When I say he is amazing when it comes down to adult times, yes, I keep him in the back of my pocket. Then we have the last one, which is my older man. He's the one that likes to wine and dine me. He takes me out. We do a lot of fun things together. All he asks is for me to spend time with him. And whenever he wants to go out, I go out with him. We do a lot of shopping. I help him with groceries. Like, there are just things that he said he feels lonely and I'm just there for companionship. We literally be sitting in his garden just talking. This man has taught me so many things. And he doesn't ask for much. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And ladies, when I say keep your options open, keep them open. Until one of them men get on their knees and they ask you to marry them, baby, date them all, because every man will bring out a different side of you. And yes, I will add on another man if another man comes around and brings value to my life.
Wait, I am baffled. I'm sitting here asking myself, what the hell is she even talking about? Did she really just sit there and describe a provider who helps her with her kids, an adult time guy she keeps in her back pocket, and an older man she uses for groceries and shopping, and then call it value? Give me a frickin' break. What an absolute disaster. She's literally describing a lifestyle of emotional and financial parasitism and calling it keeping your options open. She wants a man to pay her bills and help with her kids that aren't even his, by the way. She wants a second man to satisfy her physical urges because the provider is boring. And she wants a third man, an older gentleman, to pay for her groceries and take her shopping just because he's lonely. Basically, she has reconstructed a husband using 3 different men because she doesn't have the character or the value to attract one high-quality man who actually wants to give her all of those things. She's Frankensteining a relationship. She's taking the utility from 3 different human beings while giving none of them her full loyalty or respect. And now, obviously, here's the problem. Imagine if a man did this. Imagine a man said, yeah, I have one girl who cleans my house, one girl I go to bed with, and one girl who pays for my dinner. I'm just keeping my options open until one of them proves they're wife material. He would be labeled a toxic, manipulative predator. But when she does it, she's empowered. She's experimenting. But of course, it gets even worse. She says she'll keep doing this until one of them gets on their knees. Brothers, listen up. Why would any man in his right mind get on a knee for a woman who has her categorized as a utility while she's getting her needs met by 2 other guys? This is the peak of modern delusion. She thinks she's a prize to be won, but she's actually just a liability to be avoided. And for me, it really begs the question, who told these women that this is acceptable? Who convinced an entire generation that men are just tools to be used for purposes rather than human beings to build a life with? And of course, it's not just her. This didn't just happen in a vacuum. We see this men are utility mindset everywhere, especially when it comes to money. We got a woman here giving advice to other women, claiming that if a man says he's broke, it's actually a personal insult to you. Let's roll the tape.
A man is only broke for the woman he doesn't really want. If you are dealing with a man and he's constantly telling you that he's broke, that he can't do things, that he can't afford things, you are not his dream girl. When a man truly wants you, truly wants to be with you, he will move mountains, okay? Financially speaking, he will get another job. He will find hours where there's no hours in a day. He will make it work. If you are confused, it is because he wants you confused. When you live in that gray area, he has excuses that he can use. But I'm here to tell you, if he says he's broke, if he says he has no money, he doesn't really want you like that. He doesn't. No, it does not matter his financial circumstances, okay? It doesn't, because a man who's broke likely is not dating, because he knows the reality is when you are dating, it is going to cost you. If he's telling you he's broke for you. For the girl he actually wants, he will come out of his pocket. He'll go without. If he tells you he's broke, that is your cue to leave.
Oh, hell no. Give me a frickin' break. So, according to her, a man's financial stability or his literal bank account balance is a reflection of how much he loves you? If he's struggling in a bad economy, he should just find hours where there's no hours in a day? Is he a man or a time traveler? Yeah, I don't know. Call me crazy, but I feel like this is the exact type of toxic entitlement that is destroying the dating market. She's literally telling women to abandon men the moment they face financial hardship. In other words, every single modern woman wants the for richer part of the vows, but the for poorer part is a cue to leave. Where is the loyalty? Where is the support? Modern women want traditional benefits, the provider, the mountain mover, without any of the traditional behavior like standing by your man through thick and thin. But of course, it gets even worse, because even when a man has the money, even when he has built the company and protected his assets, that's still not enough. Now he's the bad guy for wanting to protect what he earned before she even showed up.
Prenup? Are you serious right now?
I'm serious. Yeah, I built the company years before we even met. I'm just trying to protect what I worked for.
Protect it from me? I'm not here to take anything from you.
It's not about you taking, it's about making sure what existed before us stays.
I am baffled. Protect it from me? Yes, exactly. Look at the divorce court, sweetheart. Look at the statistics. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. And in those divorces, the man's premarital assets are often the first thing they go after. She says, I'm not here to take anything, but the moment he asks her to sign a paper saying she won't take anything, she gets offended. If you aren't there to take it, why do you care if the paper says you can't have it? The math isn't mathing, folks. And just to add insult to injury, let's look at how modern women treat men when they're at their most vulnerable. Because if you think they'll care for you when you're sick, think again.
Am I the only one that's like this? Probably not. But when my husband is sick, he's been puking all night. Even if he has a cold, for some reason, the rage inside me is such a fiery rage. And I know there's nothing he can do about it to control it. But it just makes me so angry. It's so ridiculous that it makes me so angry. So he's been puking all night, so I slept on the couch because he like moans and groans. He's like noisy when he's sick. And I'm gonna try and be a good wife today. I'm gonna try and get him some medicine. I think maybe it makes me so mad because if I'm sick, like, I still like do my thing. Like, I'm still a mom. I still have stuff I have to do. If I'm like super, super sick, I'll like stay in bed, obviously, if I can't even function. But like, me as a person, when I'm sick, like, close the door, leave me alone. I'm gonna do this stuff to help myself get better, and I'm gonna sleep it off. He like, I think it's just the moaning and the like, I'm an awful wife. I understand that. And I also can't wait to get it. And I know I'm not going to get it. I'm going to pound the silver. We're pounding vitamin C. We're doing all of it. We've got our oils. We've got all our things to prevent anybody else from getting this. But we're married and we had a fun night last night. So 3 hours later, he was puking. Please tell me I'm not going to get this.
Welcome to the reality of the modern wife, fellas. Your suffering is an inconvenience to her. Your illness is a fiery rage inducer. This is the woman who wants you to move mountains and find extra hours in the day to pay for her lifestyle. But the moment you're puking in a bucket, you're an awful person for groaning too loud. Give me a freaking break. Imagine the roles were reversed. If a man said he felt a fiery rage because his wife was sick and couldn't cook dinner, the internet would have him canceled by lunch. But here she is laughing about it on TikTok. This is the empathy gap. This is what you're dealing with. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Because all of this, the dating 3 men, the demanding mountains be moved, the rage at a sick husband, eventually leads to a very specific destination. We call it the wall. We got a woman in her 30s in New York City. She's been there for 10 years and she's starting to realize that the game she's been playing doesn't have a winner's trophy.
As a woman in her 30s who's been in New York for 10 years, it's really hard to watch toxic men continuously date younger and younger.
Welcome to the wall, sweetheart. It's not that the men are toxic, it's that they're smart. You've spent 10 years in NYC, probably focusing on your career, probably dating those 3 different men we saw earlier, and now you're 30 plus and wondering why the high value men are looking at the 22-year-olds. Biology doesn't care about your New York 10 years. Men want youth, peace, and fertility. They don't want a woman who is bitter because she spent a decade experimenting and now thinks she's a prize. The market doesn't lie, and the market is telling you that your value is declining while the men you want are finally reaching their peak. This proves that modern dating culture has become a complete and utter disaster. It's a system designed to encourage female entitlement while punishing male effort. Modern women want traditional benefits, protection, provision, assets, and mountain moving, but they refuse to offer any traditional behavior. They don't want to be supportive, they don't want to be loyal to one man, and they don't even want to be compassionate when their husband is sick. Meanwhile, if a man has a reasonable standard, like wanting a prenup to protect his life's work, or wanting to date a younger woman who hasn't been experimenting with 3 men at once, suddenly that's toxic or misogyny. It's absolutely mind-boggling. This is what modern dating has become. A marketplace where one side is selling a used-up product at a premium price and wondering why nobody is buying. That essentially tells you everything you need to know about modern dating. And so, yeah, brothers, here's what you need to understand. Stop being the provider for a woman who has a bedroom guy in her back pocket. Stop trying to move mountains for a woman who would leave you the moment you're broke or get a fiery rage when you're sick. Don't let them guilt trip you into giving up your assets. If she's not there to take anything, she won't mind signing the prenup. If she refuses, she just told you exactly what her retirement plan is. Know your worth. You deserve a woman who brings peace to your life, not a woman who brings a list of demands and a history of experimentation. You are not a utility. You are a man. Act like it. So we've seen the Frankenstein relationships, the financial ultimatums, the rage at sick husbands, and the inevitable tears when the wall finally hits. This is the reality of the modern dating culture we're living in. It's a house of cards built on delusion, and it's falling down. Welcome to reality. The wall doesn't forgive, and the market doesn't care about your feelings. If you want a traditional man, you better start looking like a traditional woman. Otherwise, get used to the cats and the TikTok rants. Let me know in the comments, what's the most audacious demand the woman has ever made on a first date? And at what age do you think a woman officially hits the wall in today's dating market? I'll be reading your comments. If you enjoyed this reality check, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next.